Hello everybody, TheChrisDex here, and you're probably wondering where I am. So basically, I was going on one of my weekly Haunted Forest No One Comes Back From trips. This is my first one, and I ran into some tall gentleman with a white spandex suit on, and another very fancy suit on top of that. I don't think he was very friendly considering he attacked me with tentacles, but I did manage to hide and go into this abandoned building. But luckily, I did find some helpful notes that should help me out of here. Death is inevitable. There is no escape. God, these are so cryptic, I can never figure out what they mean. Oh, I think I hear something. Well, I better turn off this phone. I need to save the battery so I can start playing games on it when I get bored. Slender Man, also known as that movie that came out 5 years too late. His popularity skyrocketed back in 2012 from many games, stories, Photoshop pictures, people sacrificing their friends in order to summon him. That explains why no one wanted to come to my Halloween creepypasta party where we all got complimentary knives. While he isn't as popular now as he was back then, he had a huge effect on the horror game genre. There were many sequels and spin-offs that all revolved around the character Slender Man. Now, Slender Man's origins aren't anything too special. Someone submitted pictures of him to a Photoshop contest and people really liked his design, so they started making stories around him. There is also a 15th century urban legend from Germany that has a character that resembles Slender Man. Now that it's Halloween time, I thought it would be a great idea to take a look back at some of his games and see if they're still as scary as they were back then. Slender the 8 Pages was the first Slender Man game ever released, and it's probably the most well known. The plot of this game is simple. You walk around the forest trying to collect 8 pages spread around the map while also avoiding Slender Man, who gets more aggressive each time. The way to win the game is by collecting all 8 pages without getting caught by Slender Man. Now, when it first came out, it took YouTube by storm, and every YouTuber and their mom was playing it. Now, this was back in 2012, and I was fearless as ever, so of course I wasn't scared. I didn't punch my computer screen out of fear, it was because I was bored. Now, this game's biggest strength is also its biggest weakness, and that is the fact that there's not a lot to it. The fact that this game is so barren means that the fear factor comes from your own paranoia and the environment around you. The sounds of the environment give you the feeling of actually being in a real forest, similar to the Blair Witch in a way. There is also the footsteps, which will make you stop and question whether those are yours or that tall white guy. It's just these little things that add to the fact that someone is following you, making it that much scarier. But the drawback to this is that there's not much more to the game. I mean, theoretically, if someone got very lucky, they could finish the game on the first try. Of course, this doesn't happen often, because every time you die, the notes are put in different locations. But eventually you'll finish the game in a short amount of time, and you'll be left wondering, what else is there to do? And the answer to that question is Jack. Unless you want to complete the achievement of stepping on every blade of grass, there's not much more you can do. There's the daytime mode, which is the same game, but during the daytime. What a twist! There was also a $20 mode where every time you ran into Slender Man, the song $20 would start playing. Oh, and the Marble Hornets mode where your screen would resemble the online series Marble Hornets, which is an online series that revolved around Slender Man. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it, it's really good. You can find the entire thing on YouTube, or you can just watch the movie if you really need to. While the game may be lacking in content, it's scary enough to keep you entertained for a short amount of time, so I would say it still holds up to today's standards. But if you really want to have some fun, build a time machine, go back to 2012, make a let's play of it, and by 2019 you'll either be a famous YouTuber or in therapy. Well, it's been 30 minutes since I heard that sound and I haven't heard anything, so I think it's safe to leave. I win this time, Slender Man. Albino looking ass. Back to the hole I go, back to the hole I go! Slender the Arrival was released in 2013, and this is the definitive version of Slender Man games. I mean, they've ported it onto every console ever made, so it has to be. I can't wait to be playing Slender the Arrival on the PlayStation 6. Although some people might be more affectionate towards the original, the Arrival is better in every way. The 8 Pages feels like a demo to this game. The game starts off in a familiar fashion, with the player being in the middle of a forest while they travel to a new house. Inside the house, they find that the child living there has drawn on the walls, so the family has taken little Billy to be adopted. So the game after this turns out to be more of an uncovering a mystery game rather than just surviving Slender Man. There are points where you will be running away from someone or something, kind of like the original. There's even a point where you had to find 8 pages again. God damn it, Billy, no wonder your family didn't love you. After you venture more into his story, you'll figure out more about what's going on, and you'll also find one of his followers. This looks like that one edgy kid in class that you don't want to mess with, or else one day when you come into school, you'll hear pumped up kicks playing on the speakers. But the brilliance of this game is the fact that they were able to turn a concept such as Slender Man into a large scale game. There's so many secrets, Easter eggs, and other stuff you can find that'll give you a reason to play again. The game can get a bit boring at times because there are many stretches where absolutely nothing is happening, but there aren't that many of those moments. All in all, Slender the Arrival is probably the best Slenderman game anyone can make. The character itself was filled with so many stories back then, it's good someone took the character to bigger heights. It also allowed for all those Slenderman encounter videos people used to make. Yep, that is definitely the real Slenderman, no doubt in my mind about it. But all these games pale in comparison to the mobile games. So many mobile games. I played one of them, and my review of it is that this indeed is a working game, and that's about as much as I can say about it. They aren't very good unless you play them for less than 2 minutes at a time, or just forget they exist, that works too. Now, I'm not saying that all horror games on a phone are scary, but that's exactly what I'm saying. And I just don't see how anyone can get scared of a game that's on your phone. Most of the times the graphics aren't very good, so there's nothing realistic about it. Like Granny. How that game got any amount of popularity online is beyond me. Like, people are out here legitimately scared of a game with 20 pixels total. Slenderman Must Die, Chapter 7. Guess he really doesn't have to die, does he? Well, some people might clown on Slenderman now and think he was some cringy trend, which he was, and of course there were some girls who took the character too seriously and also scared some companies from making more games about him. There were a couple of good games from the character, and it's surprising to me that there weren't any more made with the character this popular. Nowadays, the biggest accomplishment with the character is getting a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, I've spent too much time here. I need to get out of here and go back to my house so I can eat some nice Halloween candy while I recover from mental trauma. Oh no. Hey, I know you're mad, and I went into the forest and started screaming "F*** Slenderman" with the bullhorn, and I also found some of your old tweets and canceled you online, and I took a shit in front of your house, but you don't have to kill me, man, please, I'm innocent. No, oh no, what are you, no, stop. Hey y'all, TheChrisDex here, and today I will be talking about WiiWare games for eternity.